Why do you hate Corey Funk? Are you gay? Have you ever done anything illegal, like drugs? What age did you lose your virginity? And now for the most requested question. Why did I fight Dylan Morrison?
Behind closed doors, I'm a fool for your love. She says, let's make this open. Relationships are better when you leave out the hoping. Wish I could simply just tell her whatever we had is broken. But it always ends the same.
What it do, Buddha crew? It's your boy Finesse B, aka Scooter Brad. You guys already know what this video is about. It's a Q&A. I haven't made one of these videos in about a minute, but I'm really keen to answer some of your guys' questions that you've asked me over on my Instagram. If you don't follow me there, it's SCOOTABRAD. That's Scooter Brad with an A in the center. Yeah, there's gonna be some heavy hitting questions in this video. As you guys know by the title, there's a bit of beef going on right now, and I'm here to explain some of that to you. Let me make it clear that I really want you guys to sit through this entire video and just kind of watch and listen to every single question, because there's a lot of good creative questions in here, and I think that most of those questions are more important than the one question that everybody's asking. So I feel like if you guys want to learn a little bit more about me, I hope you will listen to this video and sit through the entire thing, and just let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Leave a like on this video if you want me to do more Q&As, and with that being said, let's just get right into the questions. So I'm gonna bust out my phone right now. I've screenshotted about 10 to 20 questions, and we're just gonna get right into them and just answer them. So first question is by Tyler_297, and it says, do you have any signature parts on the way? This is a tough question because I can't exactly tell you guys like who I'm working with right now on what specific products. So let me just say that I do definitely have signature products coming out in the near future. Hopefully I might get something out before Christmas. If not, 2018 is going to be a big year for Scooter Brad collab parts, and I have actually been thinking about making my own brand as well, but that's something a little bit further down the line. But at this stage, I can tell you that I am working with Analog, I'm working with Scooter Zone. There's a few that I can't actually mention. I'm working with Drone, and I'm working with a few others at this point on things like signature bars, wheels, possibly a deck. Who knows at this point, but yeah, wink wink, nudge nudge. If you guys want to see signature products, or you want to see like a collab product or something, make sure to just hit up your local brands, hit up the brands that I ride, and just like make it known to them that you would buy a Scooter Brad signature product. Like, just let them know, let me know. But long story short, yes, I do have signature products coming out, and I am planning on making a big bang with my signature products. Second question, something I get asked actually quite a lot. It's from Fritz_K1. It says, why do you hate Corey Funk, Capron Funk, and all the pro riders? Bro. Guys, I don't hate the funk bros. I don't hate any pro riders, guys. Sometimes I just disagree with what people do, and I voice that. You know, I call them out on that, because that's just the type of person that I am. When I believe in something, then I let everybody know. And like, one of the biggest things about my channel is like, I'm completely open and honest with you guys. I like to tell you guys exactly what happens behind the scenes, in front of the cameras, behind the cameras, on camera, off camera. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not out here trying to hide anything from you. I'm an open book when it comes to these things. And when you ask me something, if you ever rock up to me in the street and you ask me a question, I will openly and honestly tell you my most honest answer that I have for that question. When people ask me if I hate the funk bros or if I hate all the pro riders, like, I don't hate any pro riders, guys. Like, I don't hate anybody. I think a lot of people just take my videos too seriously, and they think, oh, Scooter Brad talked badly about this person, he must freaking hate them so much. It's like, I don't hate them, I just hate what they did. If someone drops a bad video and I call them out on them making a bad video, I hate the video. I don't hate the person. You know, it's pretty self-explanatory. Like, so please don't think that I hate any pro riders, because I really don't, guys. Sometimes I just don't agree with what they do. Third question is by Reese_Thomas_2521. It says, Scooter Brad, if you could change one thing in the scooter industry, what would it be and why? I think if there was one thing I would want to change in the scooter industry, it would be the comps. I feel like Pro Series and the ISA and ASA, they all do a really good job, but I think that like there needs to be still obviously better judging, because so many people complain about judging and scores and placings and everything like that. I think that's the biggest downfall of any scooter comp, is just the judging and the way that it gets handled. I think that the ISA, the World Finals that we just had, was perfect. There was a judging panel of 5 individuals. They all had live scoring, like iPads in front of them, so as soon as everybody did their run, bam, all their scores got put in, they got averaged out, and then they would almost immediately be given a direct score after their run. So everybody knew up to date like who was placed where, at what number, and what placing, etc, etc, and it was done really, really well. But I think there needs to be a street league as well. A street league is something that I've really been backing, and actually, if you didn't know, the Volt Pro Scooters is putting on a comp called the Sovereign of Street, and it's kind of like the SLS Street League in skateboarding. Like, it's an invite-only thing, so the top 20 best street riders are going to be invited to this event, and it's going to be really, really cool. Like, I cannot wait for that event. Hopefully, I'm going to be there. It's in early September. Yeah, like, if there was one thing I could change about the industry, I think it would be the comps. I wouldn't know where to begin on how to change it, but I do definitely know that they do need some work. Graham_Scoot, Scooter Brad, what is the most interesting / most annoying beef that you've ever heard of or been in? I think the most interesting beef I've ever heard of is the one that's going on right now. It's between Dylan Hawkins and T Fox. And if you guys didn't know, Dylan Hawkins, who is Tanner's best friend, is actually now dating Tanner's sister. What? If one of my homies was out there trying to date my sister, dude, we would not be homies. Ever. And I think the most annoying beef I've ever been in was the one with Scoot Soup, when Tanner Fox leaked my DMs to Scoot Soup and they posted them up, and I copped a ton of shit comments for that. Like, okay, so what happened is I messaged T Fox when he was going on his Australian tour, and I said to him like, yo dude, like, I don't know if you still want to link up. Previously we'd talked about linking up and doing videos together and stuff, so I just DM'd him. I was like, look man, in all honesty, I'm keen to change the way that I'm doing things right now, and if it would be possible for me to come over to Australia and maybe feature in 1 or 2 of your videos, like if you have a day off and we could do a collab or something, I'll fly myself over there and I'll get something like organized for us to do a video together. And he just straight up seen it. I sent him this big paragraph. I was like, look man, I'd really appreciate the shout out. I could really use the help. And I said, quote unquote, something along the lines of being like, you have the power to change somebody's life, and I really, really want that right now. Like, I really want to do this for myself, and you are an immediate gateway for me to be able to do that. And you know what he did? He just screenshot them and sent them to Scoot Soup, and then Scoot Soup posted them, and it was all like, oh, Scooter Brad's a hypocrite because he's asking Tanner for a shout out, but he roasted Tanner. Oh my god, like, It was kind of funny because from a person to a person, like, I could ask a question like that. He simply could have just replied and been like, no, I don't want to do that because rah. Instead of just like creating this big drama about it. I don't know what he was trying to achieve by posting that out on Scoot Soup, but it doesn't really matter. It was a long time ago, and I don't hold anything against Tanner at all for that. I thought it was quite funny after about a week of it being up, but that's pretty much what the most annoying beef was for me. Andrew_Mackenzie 1234. What was the hardest trick in one of your edits? I've got a few clips that took me a really long time to get in my edits. One of them was the bar spin to bri flip tail whip in my 2013 documentary film. It was called This Is Scootering. Same edit. Fast plant front flip that took me so long to land. I was never very good at them at all. Something more recent, I actually just recently spent a lot of time getting a clip that ultimately I wasn't happy with and I won't be using in my edit, but I was planning on using it in my edit, and it was whip to front feeble, swivel back fakie feeble to Indian heel whip, kick down. So it's like a whip front feeb, fakie feeb, 180, heel whip, rewind. After seeing that clip, I hope you understand what the trick is that I'm talking about, but I didn't land it clean. I didn't roll away straight, so I'm not actually using that clip in my edit, sadly. I'm sorry. Josh.Durrell. I get this one quite a lot, and it's funny, the story behind this. He says, are you gay? Now look guys, when I say that I'm gay on my story, like, I'm saying it in like the iDubbbz kind of way, you know, when he jumps up off the table and says some gay shit, just like that. That's literally what I'm doing, okay? I'm not actually gay. I have nothing against people that are gay or do like boys. I don't care what sexuality you have, what gender you choose to pick. I don't care, as long as you don't shove it in my face and try to make me feel bad about myself, being like, oh, you hate gay people? Well, don't say that you're gay because you're not gay. That's offensive. Like, shush. Jamrock_the rocker. Why didn't you do a collab with Harry Mayne when you went to England? Okay, a lot of people ask me this question, especially when I was in England, okay, or I just left England to go to Barcelona. Harry Mayne, he stood me up, guys. But no, I have nothing against the dude. He pretty much emailed me the day before we were supposed to do our collab vid at Rampworks in Liverpool, and he said like, look man, I've got meetings that have come up and I really can't swing any extra time to come out filming tomorrow, so unfortunately I'm not going to be able to do it this time, but let's link up again the next time you come to England. So hopefully the next time that I come out to England, I'll be able to do a video with Harry Mayne. And if you guys need that to happen, if you guys want that to happen, all you gotta do is just spam all of Harry Mayne's videos with collab with Scooter Brad or something along along those lines, and I'm sure he'll get the picture. But he knows who I am, and he was down to do the collab video. It was nothing like dramatic or anything like that. It was pretty much just like he couldn't swing any extra time to come out filming on the particular day, and I completely understand that because he's a busy guy. He runs a bunch of companies and he's got a bunch of sponsorships and he's got stuff to do. He's got dogs to look after, so I respect that he couldn't come out for the day. Dylan_Henry01, best moment on your American tour. Ooh, that is a tough one, guys. My American tour has been so sick, guys. It's been amazing. But I think one of the greatest things about this America trip had to be Woodward West. And actually, you know what? It was definitely Woodward West, because when Outset Select booked that limousine for us to go to Woodward West, like, that was the best feeling ever. It was in my vlog a few weeks ago now. Pretty much like I explained when the limo rocked up, I was like, damn, how did I go from like riding around in my Toyota Corolla in one of the smallest countries in the world to getting in a limo to go to Woodward West? What? Your boy got a limousine to Woodward West with his homies, and like it was the sickest experience ever. It felt so good to just kind of ball out like that, you know? Like I'm not a wealthy guy. I don't make a ton of money, but when Outset booked that limousine, I just felt like a freaking baller. You guys know, like you just jump in a limousine and there's like drinks and a DVD player and like music, a sunroof, like you're cruising through LA and just like it's the best feeling. Obviously my meet and greet as well was probably one of my highlights too, but in all honesty, yeah, that limousine thing, that was so freaking lit. STN.clothing said, what inspired you to start Scoot Review and YouTube as a whole? Now, I think I've explained this in a past Q&A video. So for those of you who are new to the channel, Scoot Review is a show where I review the latest in scootering news, right? So I'll do like the clip of the day, the bail of the day, like stacks and people failing on their scooters. It's pretty funny. We got like industry news, just like general riders coming up, edits, parts, pictures of products that you haven't seen, unreleased footage and that kind of stuff. Like really cool content in the scootering industry that you might not ever see in a typical vlog, you know what I'm saying? What inspired me to start Scoot Review is literally I was sitting at my computer 13 hours straight and I had to edit something to try to get into this visual editing course that I was trying to get into last year as like a study thing. So I went to university to study video editing and now I have like a qualification in that. But what I had to do to get into this course, I had to construct something visual that was brand new. So what I did is I sat down and I was just fooling around with like some text and this like musical graph that would like react to a song and stuff. Like it would, you know, like a wavelength. Some people have like radios where like the wavelength kind of like bumps up and down with the music, that kind of thing. I was making an intro for something that I didn't really think would develop into anything, and I sat there for literally 13 hours straight. I didn't eat, I didn't rest, I didn't step away from my computer for at least 13 hours. I made that Scoot Review intro, and as soon as I played it back with the music and everything, I was like, whoa, that's freaking sick. Man, these glasses need to stay on, it's so bright out here. But it really just stuck. Like that intro just looked really good. I really liked it and I was like, Scoot Review. That rolls off the tongue, Scoot Review. It just rolls off the tongue, and like my friends at the time called me Scooter Brad. I just pretty much rebranded my entire channel. I changed the name from Bradley Goudie Media to just Scooter Brad, and then I started dropping Scoot Reviews twice every week, and it worked out. I can't really tell you like what directly inspired me to start Scoot Review, but I can just tell you that I used to watch like a bunch of YouTubers like Lou from Unbox Therapy, Keemstar, Scarce, all those kind of dudes. Like they really inspired me to start dropping like controversial videos, as well as like professionally made stuff like Lou from Unbox Therapy does. It was kind of like a cross between the two, if that makes any sense. Blinny Boy asked, when will you tell the story about when you lived on a boat? Okay, well, I'll tell it right now if you like. So when I was 5 years old, my mom read a book and it was about dolphins. Yeah, this is going well. So in said book, it was about like a family. The husband of the family had a terminal illness, so he was really ill. And there was one thing that they wanted to do before he died, and it was travel the world. What they did is they bought a boat and they took their kids and they went around the world on this boat and told the story about their experiences and like all these amazing things that they did. And my mom was like really touched by that, I think, because my dad had a terminal illness as well. So he had kidney failure. He had kidney failure for a couple of years before I was born, I think, and then he actually received a transplant from my granddad when I was about 1. Like I literally just turned 1. This one is a little bit hard to talk about, so let me just gather myself. So I was 5 years old. My mom read this book. My dad was really keen to do this because he was really into boating. Like, my parents had a ton of different boats before I was born, and they did a lot of sailing, and they loved fishing, and they just loved the boating lifestyle, you know what I'm saying? So what they did is they bought a boat, and they asked us kids, I think they sat us down, we were really young, and they just said, like, guys, we're gonna take you on this really cool experience. We're gonna go and we're just gonna change everything. We're gonna live on this boat. We're gonna go and see all these awesome places. And I don't think at the time, like when I was, because obviously like a 5-year-old doesn't understand the concept of like, okay, I'm about to leave my home country for the next 5 years of my life. I don't think anybody would understand that at that age. For me, it was just like, okay, like my parents want me to go on this boat. Then my parents, like, they tell me what to do. So I just kind of went and did it, you know, that's what I'm saying. My dad, he gets a crew together and he sails the boat to Fiji. And me, my sister, and my mom, we fly out to Fiji because my sister had actually broken her arm like 2 weeks before we left, so they didn't want to go on the boat with a broken arm. She just wanted to fly. So the 3 of us flew, and then my dad took the boat with his crew to Fiji, and we all kind of linked up there. And that's where it all started. For the next 5 years of my life, I lived on a boat. I was homeschooled. So we went from places like from Fiji, we went to Vanuatu, we did Australia, Indonesia, the Red Sea, the Caribbean, the Panama Canal, England, America. I've been to 46 different countries all over the world just from living on a yacht with my family. Now before I get into the sad part, I'm just gonna explain to you really quick that me and Tanner Fox, we have so much in common. It's really spooky, okay? We have the same birthday, the 22nd of December. Obviously, I was born 1995. I think he was born in 1997. I think, if that's correct, hopefully it is. It might be 98 or something, I'm not sure. We both lived on boats at some point in our lives. We were both homeschooled for a lot of our life, and both of our fathers passed away. And it's so like scary to think about that we have so many significant things in common, you know what I'm saying? So we left in the year 2000, we returned home to New Zealand to finally live again in New Zealand in 2005. 6 years later, in 2011, my father passed away from his terminal illness, which was kidney failure. So that totally sucked. Yeah. I hate talking about this. I really do. It really gets me down. My dad, he was a great dude. I wish that people could have got to know him. I wish I had have got to know him as an adult. I never got to do things like drink a beer with my dad. My dad didn't teach me how to shave. I literally watched like YouTube videos on how to shave because when I was 15, I didn't have to shave my face, so no one really had to teach me. I never got to drive my dad around. I never got to, and even my sister as well, like we never really got to know our dad as adults, which really sucks because I think like you really get to know your parents more when you're of age and you kind of understand like what it takes to be a parent. I mean, this is off topic, so I'm sorry, let me get back to the questions, but essentially that is the story of how I lived on a yacht for 5 years of my life. Lloydie1502 said, would you ever try flips again? If you didn't see, I actually did them at Woodward like a couple of weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago now. I sussed the backies to the resi. Layers are still kind of out of my comfort zone, and I'm not really just a flip person in general, like at all. I don't know, like flips, I'll do them when I feel like doing them, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to get good at flips by any means. Will702 said, who is the most respectful rider you have ever met? Instantly, who comes to mind? Chris Farris. Chris Farris is such a nice guy. Chris, if you're watching this, everybody in the community loves you. Like, I love you. You're a great guy. You have great energy. Scooter badge gay for Chris Farris, huh? And obviously, Ryan Williams is on that list as well. I'd say R. Willie and Chris Farris are probably two of the most respectful riders I've ever met. They have great attitudes. I've never heard a bad word about them, and I really do respect them, so big shout out to you guys. Johan Scoot says, when are you going back to New Zealand, and are you going to continue Scoot Review then? Of course I'm going to continue Scoot Review. Of course. I love Scoot Review. Scoot Review is my bread and butter. It's amazing. I will never stop doing Scoot Reviews. I'm actually flying back to New Zealand tonight at midnight, so by the time you're watching this video, I'm probably sitting on a plane right now heading back to New Zealand, and then I'm going to be coming back out to the United States maybe in September, hopefully. Still got plans to go back to the UK and stuff before the end of the year as well. At this point, it's kind of just like up in the air of when I'm going to be in what location and that kind of thing. If you just stay patient, pay attention to my Instagram and all my YouTube videos and that kind of thing, and you won't miss out on any information. I'll let you guys know as soon as possible when I'm traveling to my next spot, so you guys can come out and meet me and we can hang out some more. If I've already met you, by any means, just definitely come out, chill with me again, because I love hanging out with all you guys out there. Noah_Corbin asked, when will you make a web edit or when will it be released? I'm kind of working on an edit right now. For me personally, I don't really believe in the term web edit. Like, unless you're a really, really good like pro sponsored scooter rider, then I guess like making a web edit is kind of the thing that you do. But for me, if I ever drop an edit, it's either just going to be like a quick release, or I'm just going to call it an edit, because I don't think that my level of scooter riding essentially is like good enough to be titled web edit. You know, I think web edit is something that has like world first and like just absolute bangers in it. But like a video that I'm gonna make, like my type of edit, it's gonna be good tricks, it's gonna be clean style, it's gonna be very well made, it's gonna be well shot, well produced, and that's kind of the way that I want to portray my edit to my audience. So maybe before Christmas, hopefully. I've got a few clips here in the United States, but I definitely want to get some more fresh footage when I head home, hopefully get some clips in Australia, and I didn't get any edit clips in the UK either, so I want to get clips from all over the world before I drop a real banger of an edit, if you know what I'm saying. Ava Louise asked, why aren't we married? Well, you haven't asked. STFNWLD underscore asked, do you want to create your own scooter company? I do. I definitely do. And I've always thought about doing this. It's just like the money side of it is not so easy. A lot of scooter companies have people that invest in their businesses and they kind of back the money for things like molding, welding, like the designing process, that kind of thing. Like a lot of companies have backers, financial backers per se, and they get like a bunch of money given to them in order to develop their actual brand. So for me, if I was ever to make my own brand, I would want to fully fund it myself. I wouldn't want anybody else's money, because I would want to do exactly what I want to do with my brand. I want to drop the releases that I want to release. I think I need to grow my channel a lot more before even thinking about developing my own scootering parts. At this stage in my life, it's like it's a thought in the back of my mind, but it's definitely not my priority right at the second. Underscore Frammy underscore said, how many times have you broken a bone? I've actually only ever broken my arm once. I broke my left arm when I was 5 years old. I was watching the Olympics with my sister actually on her 7th birthday, and her friends were giving me crap. They were like, Brad, you can't do anything like this. So I was saying like, yeah, I could try that, I could do that. And they're like, do a front flip off the couch, Brad, do a front flip off the couch. I bet you can't. And I was like, bitch, I can. Got up on the armchair of this couch in our living room and literally just center fronted. Had no idea what I was doing. Landed like with my hands like this on the ground, like behind my waist, and literally just snapped my arm. And that was the end of that. Lewis Young, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your favorite number of the alphabet? What the hell? Scooter underscore beard, my boy Harry Parkinson asked, whose beard is the best? Well, obviously yours, Harry. Dan underscore Hutley, will he ever come back to Adrenaline Alley? You guys know that I mentioned earlier that I will plan on coming back to the UK before the end of the year, hopefully, because Adrenaline Alley actually reached out to me when I had that big drama with Coda. That day at my meetup was pretty much like ruined. Like, I didn't really get to do anything. I didn't get to sell any merch because Coda forced me into having like a meeting with him at Adrenaline Alley, and I had no idea that it was actually gonna happen until I actually rocked up. My stay at Adrenaline Alley was really cut short. I didn't really get to ride at all, so they invited me back. Full Scooter Rad weekend, like a 4-day event, and I was like, dude, that sounds amazing. Let's definitely do that. So if you guys are keen to get an Adrenaline Alley Scooter Rad weekend going, let me know down in the comments, and make sure you spam Adrenaline Alley like Scooter Rad week, Scooter Rad week, Scooter Rad week, like get them hyped up, tell everybody about it, and we're gonna have a huge event. Like, I want so many people to come through. We're gonna have tons of pro riders. We're all gonna be staying at Adrenaline Alley. We're all just gonna kick it, ride every single day, hang out with you guys every single day, make vlogs every single day. It's gonna be sick. What else can I say, really? Merkar asked, have you ever done anything illegal, like drugs? Everyone asks this question. I've definitely seen a lot of do you smoke weed questions. I will say this, and I've said this in videos before. I'm not hiding anything whatsoever. I've said this in videos prior to this one. I have taken drugs before, yes. I don't know why that's so much of a surprise to anybody out there watching these videos, because I'm telling you right now, every single YouTuber that is big and famous has taken drugs. Okay, I'm telling you right now, 95% of all famous people have taken drugs. And the only thing I'm gonna say about weed is that personally, I do not consider weed or marijuana a drug of any sort, because it's a naturally grown substance. Whatever made this earth made weed. Weed has also been proven to be amazing in medicinal use. It's been amazing for people with seizures, with anxiety, stress, depression, all that kind of thing. Like, weed is not a bad drug. And if you think it is, do some research on it, please, because it's really not that big of a deal. If somebody smokes pot in somewhere where it's legal, I don't see what the problem is. I don't think anybody should be put on blast for smoking weed. And if anyone's gonna comment anything about being like, oh, Scooter Brad, you're so hypocritical because you put Dylan Morrison on blast for smoking weed, I didn't put him on blast for smoking pot, guys. In my Dylan Morrison video that I'm gonna be dropping in about a week's time, I will explain to you that I never put Dylan on blast at all. Okay, and you'll find out exactly why in that specific video. But my simple answer to this question is, yes, I've done things that are illegal, and that's my business. Lucas Burkett, would you quit scootering for $250,000? No. Nabe112, Scooter Brad, how many girlfriends have you had? If we're talking serious relationships, I'm not sure if I want to name names, but I'm gonna do it anyway. We had Courtney, Brooke, Ashley, Allie, Nicole. So 5, I would say 5 serious relationships. If I'm forgetting any and you're watching this, man, I'm really sorry. I used to have a list on my phone of all the girls that I've been with, but then I realized that that was completely childish, so I deleted it. But I don't want to like put a number on it, but it was like over 30. So yeah, your boy's been a bit of a scux. If you don't know what scux means, just look it up on Urban Dictionary. Brandon_Castle7. Over here in America, what are the biggest differences between America and your home country? This is a cool question. I like this question. Biggest thing, the Americans drive on the wrong side of the road, and all their steering wheels are on the opposite side of the car. All their steering wheels are on the left-hand side, and in New Zealand, they're always on the right-hand side. So if you're American, just imagine driving but sitting in the passenger seat, and then driving on the opposite side of the road. You see what I'm saying here? It's really, really confusing. Other than the driving, I think the food is probably like a big thing as well. Like in New Zealand, like we have a lot of fresh meat, like lamb, chicken, beef, like all of our meat is of like a higher quality than America, because like America, the demand is so high that they have to like mass produce and import like meats like lamb, beef, chicken, seafood, all that kind of thing. But in New Zealand, like the demand is nowhere near as high. All the meats and stuff in New Zealand, they're all like butchered locally, and like all like the cows and stuff that you get beef from, they're all like in the country, so it's all like a local thing. It just makes like the quality of the meat just better, you know what I'm saying? Like if you ever go to an American restaurant and you see lamb on the menu, chances are that lamb is either from Australia or New Zealand. If you ever go to Fleming's Steakhouse, check out the menu, the lamb is New Zealand lamb. Aaron_Holt_ said, when was you the most upset in your life and why? It should say, when were you? I mentioned earlier that my dad passed away in 2011. Yours did too.
Yeah.
Walter and I, Walter's here too, guys.
Hey guys, I'm just sitting on the floor.
Fun fact, Walter, well, not really fun fact, but Walter's dad and my dad both passed away in 2011, so that's not very good. But yeah, that was definitely the saddest time of my life. Like, it was probably maybe like 6 months to a year after that happened. I was just kind of down, not really myself, and I definitely changed a lot of things about my personality because of what happened, and just like made a lot of lifestyle changes that ultimately like led me to where I am now. What the hell is this? Get out. When were you the most saddest in your life?
Your breath stinks PLZ hell.
I bet you're sad now because I'm leaving today. Seb_.w, what age did you lose your virginity? How old were you when you lost your virginity? I was 14. Here's something that you need to understand about New Zealand too. New Zealand's age for sexual intercourse is 16 years old. If you are 16 years old, you can have consensual intercourse with whoever you please. I think it was like 2 weeks before my 15th birthday, so you could debate saying that I was pretty much 15. So it was only like a year before I wasn't really supposed to, if you know what I'm saying. It was with a girl that I'd been going out with for like more than 8 months. We'd done everything but, so it was like, what was really the big difference? We were safe, we used the wraps. This is so awkward to talk about on camera, but I would definitely recommend not doing that at the age of 14. This garbage truck is going past, it's gonna be very loud. I think if there's anything that I regret being a teenager, it's probably losing my virginity so young, because I'm telling you guys, all it does is bring a ton of stress to your life. It only brings like more girls, it's just more drama, just more things to deal with on a day-to-day basis. It's just not good, okay? So you should definitely wait until you're at least 17 or 18, I would say. Just like allow yourself to have the right maturity and make sure that you're ready to do like what you're gonna do. Sandro.Bivona said, why do you always have beef with every rider? This is kind of the same question as earlier in the video, but like, I don't always have beef with every rider. Everyone's just like, people in the comments, they make it seem as if like, oh my god, Scooter Brad hates on everybody. What an asshole. It's not like that at all. I think there's like maybe a small handful of riders that I have beef with, and I will probably always have some sort of beef with because of the things that I've said about them. And those people are Corey Funk, Capron Funk, Tanner Fox, Claudius, Dakota, Morrison. That's pretty much all I can think of off the top of my head. But like me and Claudius, we get along fine. We talk a bunch, like when we see each other at the parks and stuff, we actually talk quite a lot now. I've been helping him out with like editing tips and stuff. Like he's always asking me like how to edit better and quicker and like the best tips and stuff. And I help him out because like he's that kind of guy. Like he wants to ask me a question, I'll respectfully answer it. Like I'm pretty sure he respects me as a writer, I respect him as a writer, and I respect what he does. The things that he did in his old videos were totally whack. And after I dropped that rant video on him, he changed everything. And now his videos are actually quite decent. They're well made. I can't change his characteristics, if you know what I'm saying. Like I can't change Claudius from being Claudius. It's just not, it's not right. And I don't really want to change Claudius because he is Claudius and he's like the Wiggles of Scootering. He is the Wiggles of Scootering. He's the kids show of Scootering, and that's great. He gets the younger kids into riding, and that's amazing. That's the goal. D_Stark21, what's your favorite genre of music? And that's definitely hip hop and R&B, easily. My favorite artists are Drake, Post Malone, Chris Brown, Tyga, Lil Uzi's kind of creeping in there, Lil Yachty, Fetty Wap, anyone that bumps hard. Drake with a 69 in the middle said, will you move into the Undialed house? We actually did discuss getting a crib together in LA, or like in San Diego or somewhere between. I would definitely live with the Undialed boys for sure. Like me, Will, and Clayton, we have an amazing friendship. They are such amazing guys. If you don't know who Undialed are, they'll be up in the cards and you can check out some of their videos. We've done a ton of collaborations over the last couple of weeks because I've been staying with them. We've been hanging out almost every single day, and I could definitely see myself living with the Undialed crew because I definitely think that I fit the channel. I think that I fit like their enclosed group of friends, and we get along just so great. I literally have their logo tattooed on my leg. And actually, for those of you who are wondering, like I did a video not too long ago. It was like a scooter hack for like the ultimate tail whips or something. It was like 10 whips per second. It was like this machine thing. Anyway, in the video I was like, if this video gets 20,000 likes, I'll get a scooter tattooed on my body. And now, because it has 21,000 likes, there's so many comments on it being like, Scooter Brad, where's your scootering tattoo, dude? That is my scooter tattoo, the lit logo from Undialed, and it hurt a lot. And if you want to watch the vlog, it'll be up in the cards. So yeah. Damn, this video, oh, I almost dropped my camera. This video is gonna be so long and so raw, I'm so sorry. MLG__Claudio asked, if you're about to do a scary trick, how do you pump yourself up to do it? This is a good question. I like this question because I think it's different for everybody. Like everyone kind of has their set momentum or like a set mind space to get themselves hyped up for a trick. Some people use listening to really good music, really loud music, like dubstep, hip hop, whatever they're into. They get really pumped up on the music. I used to do that. Then I really just started to dislike riding with headphones because I like to hear what's going on. I like to hear the noise of like a grind, for example. It helps like if I know that I'm gonna land it or not, like the way that it sounds. I don't know, it's hard to explain, but for me, getting psyched up to do something hard is like I just have to tell myself that I can do it. I just kind of like roast myself. I'll say stuff under my breath to myself like, you have to do this, like if you don't, you're a pussy. So if you guys are telling me that I can't do it, that gives me that motivation. I kind of use like a reverse psychology of like negative motivation and turn it into positive motivation, if that makes sense. _Josh Mills said, how long did it take you to color your new deck? It took about 4 to 5 hours. I sat through almost 2 full-length movies while everybody went out to the proto premiere at the Scoot Farm. Yeah, I spent like 5 hours doing it. It came out so good. SM.RI_ said, LeMayo, my question's never gonna get answered, so there's no point trying. Well, you missed your chance, didn't you? Luke_Claffer, yay. Wait, why does it say yay? It's like yay, comma, what do your parents think about you making YouTube videos? My mum is in full support. So when I was studying last year, earlier on in the video I mentioned that I studied last year at a university. So when I studied there, I was also working part-time at Subway, like the sandwich restaurant, and that was kind of just like paying some of my bills at the time being because I needed to have a part-time job to feed myself. And by the time I had been doing YouTube for about 2 or 3 months, I was making enough money to ultimately live without actually having to work at Subway. So I quit my job. And I didn't tell my mom at first. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna not tell her for maybe like a month. I'm just gonna tell her like when I'm ready. I went to Australia for 3 weeks. When I came back, my mom, we were talking like, how was the trip? When are you going back to work? And I was like, well, actually, I'm not going back to work. I'm not working at Subway anymore. And she said like, what? She was like, what? What do you mean? Why? Like, you need the money, blah, blah, blah. I was like, well, actually, I mean, I'm making more money off YouTube than I was slaving away at Subway. So, I mean, if you can respect what I'm doing, like I promised you that I'll work hard and I will make a living out of this. And she was kind of on the fence at first, but after I showed her like my month's paycheck, she was like, oh yeah, I mean, you know what, that kind of works out. Ultimately, I was still like working hard to make a living, and I still am, obviously. Like, it's not a walk in the park being a YouTuber, but she is now in full support of what I'm doing. She really likes what I do. She watches my videos. Yeah, she's proud of me, which is cool. JYE Green _73, is there a surgery to fix your back? That's an unknown at this point, because like nobody knows what's wrong with my back, or at least like nobody could tell me a specific like diagnostic of my back injury. Everyone was just kind of like, yeah, I mean, the MRIs look fine, so it should be fine in a couple of weeks. Well, it's been almost 2 years now and it still hurts every damn day. And now for the most requested question. Why did I fight Dylan Morrison? You guys have been sitting through this entire video thinking like, when's he gonna talk about Dylan? Is that all he was gonna say on Dylan Morrison? No. Let me just clarify this. There's gonna be a much better detailed video in about a week's time with all the fight footage, with everything that you need to know, the Big Facts interview, everything. And there's a lot of stuff that you guys don't know that I'm not gonna mention right here because I need time to still do research on the topic. But all I'm gonna say is that I'm not making a video to cuss out Dylan Morrison whatsoever. Okay, so how this all started is we were at an industry event at the Nitro Circus World Games after party in Utah. Everybody at this party was drinking because we're all of age, so we're allowed to do that. Adults do that, guys. Don't be so surprised when two people get drunk and they end up in a fight, okay? It's not really a big deal whatsoever, okay? Some people fight. A ton of you have probably been in a fight, whether it be a verbal fight or a fist fight at school. Everyone's had a bit of a fight, you know what I'm saying? If you haven't, that's really good, and I don't promote fighting at all. Fighting does not solve anyone's problems, and that is clearly apparent in this situation because none of the issues have been solved whatsoever, and the fighting did not help anybody. Okay, fighting somebody is a petty way to score points on them and try to up your rep in the wrong way. Okay, it's not good. I don't promote it and I don't like it at all. So we're at this party. We're both really drunk. Dylan Morrison films me throwing up because I was sick, I was ill, I drunk too much, I was a little bit too lit, guys. I was sitting behind a truck out of the way of everybody and I was throwing up because I needed to throw up, and I was just like when I get too drunk, I just throw up and I feel much better, and I stopped drinking from that point. He filmed it on his Snapchat and he posted it on his public Snapchat, which obviously I didn't like. There's been a lot of YouTuber beef where people have gone to like YouTuber parties and they've put somebody on blast or like taken videos of them or pictures of them when they're really drunk trying to embarrass them. And that's what he was trying to do to me. That's just something that you don't do. Like, you don't go to an industry party trying to find out beef. Like, guys, I've heard so many stories about so many pro riders that I could put on Scooty and be like, oh, this person's a twat, this person's weird, they're whack, they're done illegal stuff, like, but I'm not gonna do that because that kind of thing stays inside the circle, you know? That's not my information to share. If something's made public by the person that did it, then that's absolutely fine. You should be able to use that because they made it public, they're happy for the world to see it, and they're happy for the world to criticize what they've done, right? But when somebody doesn't want anybody to know something, you shouldn't really put that out to the world without having their express permission, right? Ultimately, he filmed me throwing up. I walked up to him afterwards and I said like, yo, like, you need to delete that. It's not cool. Like, you don't do that in an industry party. And he wasn't having a bar of it. He wasn't happy. And the guy's wearing his underwear. He's wearing his underwear and an open button t-shirt. Like, he looked homeless, is what I'm saying. He was drunk. He looked like a homeless person. He had no pants on. And you did not see me walking around that party being like, oh, Dylan Morrison's wearing underwear. Haha, put him on my story. Lol. I wasn't gonna do that. I had no intention of putting him on blast whatsoever. It's not that I don't like the guy, we just don't really get on all that well because he has a problem with a video that I made over a year ago now, and that'll be in the video that I'm gonna drop in about a week's time, and I'll explain that all to you. But like, ultimately, I walked up to him, he pushed me, he put his finger in my face, I clocked him, and then 2 weeks later, we had another brawl at another party for another reason, and it's all just kind of a snowball effect. But like, the reason why we're fighting right now is because Dylan filmed me spewing up when I was too drunk, and I walked up to him and I wasn't happy, and we had a brawl. It's not really that big of a deal, guys. It's really not. The story surrounding it though, like the story of why it happened, that is the part that gets interesting. And the reasoning behind it, the reason why Dylan doesn't like me and never has liked me, you'll find that out in the video that I'm gonna make in a week's time, so stay tuned for that. But that is gonna be it for the questions today, guys. This video is probably gonna be really, really long. Hopefully you guys learned a thing or two about me, maybe a little something about Walter too, right over here. Hey. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this Q&A. I'm sorry that it was so raw. Tonight I'm flying out from the United States, so I wanted to film this quick video for you, have something to edit at the airport, and hopefully I can upload it tonight so that by the time you're seeing this, I'm probably sitting on a plane. I'm probably in the middle of the Pacific Ocean somewhere. I'll be back in New Zealand really soon, so hopefully you guys are keen for the Scoot reviews to come back. I am most certainly very excited for Scoot review. I'm so glad that you sat through this video and listened to me ramble on about my livelihood. If you guys want me to make more Q&As with like different kind of questions, whatever you guys want, let me know down in the comments. I always read the comments and appreciate your feedback so much. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Share this channel with one of your friends. Maybe they'll like the videos. Maybe they'll get hooked to scootering. Maybe they'll have a ton of fun with Scooter Brad on the channel. So with that being said, this is the end of the video. Thanks so much for watching. It's been your boy Scooter Brad. Make sure you drop a fat ass like on this video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out. Have an amazing day. Bye.
You said we had it all.